Oh, baby. Daredevil Born Again, filming, back at it today. Really excited about this. Again, I think most of you know this, but let's just kind of say it for the random person that wandered into the room, the grandma that can't figure out how to change the channel on the smart TV. Daredevil Born Again. Important, big show. A lot of people really excited about it. Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. Wilson D'Onofrio back as Kingpin. And this show and the stories surrounding the show took a really interesting turn when late last year, they basically said the show sucks and we're going to stop filming. We're going to fire the writers. We're going to fire the directors. We're going to reconceptualize the show. We're going to change it, and we're going to start again. And ever since that happened, so much mystery, so many questions about what could it mean? What's going to be different? What's changing? Now, one of the things, did I say Wilson D'Onofrio? That's his new name. One of the things that's really cool about this is the whole Feige and Karen thing. In the original version of the show, they were either going to be killed in a cameo, they were going to be killed off screen. They were not really going to be in the show. So those actors are back. They're going to be in the show. That's really cool. We spoke about this last week. I actually just dropped a clip about this yesterday on the Clips channel. You know, rumors are coming in from Alex Perez that you're going to get more than a cameo, that Karen and Feige are going to have a more involved role in the show. Okay, so that's a dub. That's a W. Okay, but here's something else that happened that is just, dude, like, this is so good. And I tried to explain this, like, you know, when it first broke, like, okay, so it breaks in this, the Heat Vision, coming from Boris Kitt over at the Hollywood Reporter, you know, Hollywood Trade, incredibly reliable. Daredevil Born Again restarting production on Monday with familiar stunt coordinator. Okay, now if you dig into that, it discusses that Philip Silverera, who was the stunt coordinator on Netflix's Daredevil, will be coming back to the show. This is such a big W, and let me explain why. This is yet again another sign that the product itself and the fan experience with the product is of the utmost importance to Marvel, and it is the highest consideration when making changes. I had heard from very reliable people that one of the things Charlie badly wanted was this exact fucking thing. This exact fucking thing, Chad. He wanted Philip from the Daredevil show, the OG, the Netflix show, to be involved in this new show. And Marvel and Feige, for whatever reason, said no. For whatever reason, they didn't want that. And look, the story here with Daredevil Born Again has really been, why didn't they just make Daredevil? Just you know what I mean? Like, why didn't they just do what worked before? There were all these, like, okay, well, they're gonna kill off Feige and Karen, they're gonna fridge them, Matt's retired, all this weird stuff. Tonally, it's not gonna be the same. Like, I remember hearing little bits here and there, like, oh man, I don't know, they're going for something very different. You remember hearing that a lot? Very different. A lot of people saying that. And even D'Onofrio was at cons and being like, it's gonna be very different than what came before, but it's excellent, right? Well, it's basically now just all over the place. Everything that is coming out about the show is pointing to this fact that they completely changed their mind about this. Feige looks at the show and he's like, this is goobly glob bullshit. He gets a bunch of people to look at it and give him advice on how to fix the show. And they were like, well, dude, I mean, like, there was already a great Daredevil show. Like, why didn't you just did more of that shit, right? And they've, like, decided that that's the way. But it's also awesome because, you know, D'Onofrio said, and he kind of came out a little hot on Twitter. This was like a month ago, maybe more than a month ago. And he was talking about how people don't know what they're talking about. This show is in great hands, and he's never seen a studio that is given this much care to a show and this much care to the actors that are involved in the show to make them feel confident that this was going to be a great experience and a great show and something that they can be proud of. He said that. Well, now it's becoming a little bit more clear why he said that. I can imagine that Feige not only changed his mind, but probably went right to Charlie Cox to tell him that they were hiring Philip. Why? Because Charlie was vocal. He was asking Feige about this, asking people about it. He wanted Philip back because that was one of the best elements of that show. The choreography, the hallway scenes, the grittiness of that fighting, it's epic shit, right? And I like some of the fighting in Echo, but some of it falls pretty flat. It's definitely not up to par with what you get in the Daredevil show. So this is like a huge freaking W. And again, it feels like to me, like you could, like, look, you could say, why didn't they realize this sooner? I have no answer for you. You could ask, like, why wouldn't they just do the Daredevil show? Why were they so hell-bent on being different, having their own stamp on it? What's the deal with that, right? I don't have a good answer for you. Hubris, ego, branding, contracts, I don't know. But what I do know is it was a stupid idea. They're not doing it anymore. And that's good. That's a W. Like, we should like that's exciting. That's fucking awesome, dude. Like, and again, to me, it just shows, and it makes me feel really confident here that it is about making the show and the content great, giving fans a little bit more of what they expect, a little less subversion, a little less Ralph Boner, because, dude, it's the bottom of the ninth, and they're down like 3 runs. Okay? They need a fucking grand slam. Shit's been really bad. They need this stuff to bop. Daredevil is going to play a huge role in not only this fucking show, but in Spider-Man 4 and in other things. I bet he'll be in the Avengers movies. So it's really important that they get this show right. That's why they stopped it and fired everybody, brought in new talent, brought in other things, changed it, made it more mature, did all of these things. They're cooking. Ladies and gentlemen, they're cooking. And I, for one, am excited about it. What do you think, chap?